Hello everyone, I Dr. Sonam Bhatia welcomes you all to my channel C2B. In this video, I am discussing urea cycle. This is a video series where I am discussing few topics on amino acid metabolism. Let's see the question on urea cycle. Describe urea cycle in detail. Mention the pacemaker enzyme of urea cycle and the mechanism of its upregulation in response to increased protein intake. Explain the rationale behind giving arginine and benzoate in the diet of a patient of hyperammonemia. It's always a good idea to draw the urea cycle first. That gives an impression that you know what the cycle is. Urea cycle is made of 5 enzymes: carbamoyl phosphate synthetase 1, ornithine transcarbamylase, argininosuccinate synthetase, argininosuccinase and arginase. So these are the 5 enzymes of urea cycle. And the intermediates are carbon dioxide with ammonia to form carbamoyl phosphate, which is the first intermediate, which reacts with ornithine in presence of ornithine transcarbamylase to form L-citrulline. This L-citrulline reacts with aspartate in presence of the enzyme argininosuccinate synthetase to form argininosuccinate. Then the argininosuccinate releases fumarate and forms L-arginine in presence of the enzyme argininosuccinase, also known as argininosuccinate lyase. The L-arginine releases urea and forms ornithine. So that is the overall picture. The first 2 reactions of urea cycle takes place in mitochondria and the rest 3 reactions takes place in cytosol. Thus, urea cycle involves both mitochondria as well as cytosol. Thus, we can say that urea biosynthesis is a cyclic process involving 5 enzymes of urea cycle. It is a good idea in the examination to clearly mention these 5 enzymes and then the reactions. And then you can mention the same steps which we have mentioned in a cyclic form in the tabular form also. It gives a good impression. Then it is clear that the enzyme 1 and 2, that is CPS1 and ornithine transcarbamylase, are present in the matrix of liver mitochondria, and the enzymes 3, 4 and 5 are present in the liver cytosol. Carbon dioxide as bicarbonate, ammonium ion, ornithine and citrulline enter the mitochondrial matrix via a specific carrier present in the inner membrane of the liver mitochondria. Although we have not mentioned those specific carrier proteins, but yes, there are carrier proteins for the incoming and outgoing of the various molecules. Synthesis of 1 mole of urea requires 3 moles of ATP and 1 mole each of ammonium and alpha amino nitrogen of aspartate. And you must note that it is the glutaminase and glutamate dehydrogenase of oxidative decarboxylation reaction which releases ammonium ion, and it is this ammonia which will be incorporated by the very first enzyme CPS1. Now, an extra edge, it is always a good idea to know the urea cycle defects and write them in the examination. So these are the 5 enzymes of urea cycle and their corresponding diseases. If CPS1 is deficient, it results in type 1 hyperammonemia. Ornithine transcarbamylase deficiency is type 2 hyperammonemia. Argininosuccinate synthase deficiency will be citrullinemia. Argininosuccinate lyase will be argininosuccinic aciduria. And if arginase is deficient, it results in hyperarginemia. Let's now see the regulation of urea cycle. The urea cycle is regulated at the very first step, that is CPS1. Let's see how. Allosteric modulator known as N-acetyl glutamate. ये बनता कैसे है? Acetyl CoA and glutamate will form N-acetyl glutamate, and the enzyme here is NAG synthase, N-acetyl glutamate synthase. Then further, normally when ammonia is high, there will be more glutamate. That is an allosteric modulator for the enzyme N-acetyl glutamate synthase, synthesizing more of NAG. Now, once more of NAG is formed, here that NAG will be an allosteric modulator for the enzyme CPS1 that will form carbamoyl phosphate. Ultimately, urea will be synthesized. So, urea cycle is regulated at CPS1 level. Now, in addition, the major changes in the diet of animals such as प्रोटीन इनटेक बढ़ जाए तब भी ग्लूटामेट बढ़ जाएगा, या फिर अगर पर्सन इज ऑन स्टारवेशन तब भी प्रोटीन ब्रेकडाउन बढ़ जाएगा, रिजल्टिंग इन मोर ऑफ अमोनिया that will regulate the CPS1 and more urea will be synthesized. Let's now answer question number 3. Ammonia is constantly produced as metabolic waste from amino acid catabolism in mammals. It is a toxic waste metabolite and is resolved in the liver where the urea cycle converts free ammonia to urea. Liver malfunctions can cause hyperammonemia that leads to CNS dysfunctions such as brain edema, convulsions, and coma. Let's see why we give L-arginine in some cases of urea cycle defects. Now, in the liver, arginine is split into urea and ornithine, also which then reacts with carbamoyl phosphate to form citrulline. This urea cycle intermediate condenses with aspartate, which is then forming argininosuccinate, which can be excreted if somebody does not have argininosuccinate. Now, note that even in the deficiency of this enzyme, the two nitrogen atoms, one from carbamoyl phosphate and the other from aspartate, are eliminated from the body per molecule of arginine provided in the diet. In essence, an argininosuccinate substitutes for urea in carrying nitrogen out of the body, which is much less toxic form as compared to ammonia itself. Now, let's see why we give sodium benzoate. The sodium benzoate reacts with glycine to form hippurate in its benzoyl coenzyme A form. The reason why we are considering here one of the amino acids to be excreted in a hippuric acid form is because this glycine is also a source of nitrogen. So this process hampers the degradation of glycine by the ammonia forming metabolic pathway. So we are decreasing one of the inputs of ammonia formation. You must know that the gene therapy is also one of the promising future aspects of the treatment of urea cycle disorders. And yes, of course, liver transplant is one of the options. This is Dr. Sonam Bhatia signing off, and further updates will be available on my social media handle on Instagram dr.sonambhatia C2B and on Facebook Catalyst to Biochemistry. Thank you. God bless you all.